Wagwan Conscious Family, it's Minra here. Oh wow. A squirrel like literally just like jumped from one tree onto the ground. I guess maybe I startled it or I don't know. That was so funny though. So random. Anyhow, it's Minra. It's been a minute. I've been rather preoccupied these last several weeks. But things are settling down a bit now so I can get back to making some content. I have missed making content, especially around, spirituality and more conscious related topics, but I'm gonna be back on the ground again. I know I have my moments of like, being consistent with my posting and then, kind of like dipping out for a little bit. So forgive me for that. I'm sure you guys can relate to the flow of, you know, being on target sometimes and then sometimes the ball get dropped. But I I wanted to, catch up with you guys, share some thoughts. Today's video is not going to be anything that's necessarily theme motivated or anything. I've been just wanting to just chat, just tell my mind, just flow, and um, yeah, not have it like planned to be about anything in particular. Um, because I tend to have those moments where I like to just, I guess, let whatever is inside me just flow and just talk based on that premise. I just be real, be authentic from that standpoint. And I hope you guys can connect with me from that space, just to listen in, see what resonates with you, and yeah, and go from there pretty much. So, hmm. Well, let me show a little bit of nature in between time, anyhow. But this is like such a serene little spot that I get to come to and, you know, record whenever I can or whenever I want. So I love the vibes. All being well, soon in the near future, I'm gonna get some land and stuff and then start, doing content on my land and all that vibes. But speaking of which, one of the major reasons why I created Raw Consciousness, other than it being a platform that's really dedicated to sharing thoughts and information that help to stimulate your mind to want to learn more, want to better understand yourself and your place in this world, in this universe, and to develop a better relationship with the divine as well. I mean, there is the element of it that is also really tied to how to optimize your experience here. And I think like as time goes on, as like everything continues to unfold, it's becoming clearer and clearer that we have to be so very intentional with our thoughts, actions, the use of our time, the people that we spend time with, that we hold space with. Like literally every aspect of our life has to become so much more intentional because there's no point in wasting that time and energy. Essentially boils down to wasting energy because we're giving our attention to those individual circumstances and situations. And so wherever our attention is being um, guided, our energy is being guided there. So we have to choose very wisely how we're sharing our energy and how we're sharing space as well. And I'm saying that because going back to what I was linking, so much is happening in the world right now where a lot of things are being brought forth, and it's so interesting because and I know for a fact it's designed this way, but it's coming at a time where people have become so conditioned to thinking less about certain events, certain ideals, certain practices, and so it's not really been res- the response to these things aren't as dramatic or drastic as they would have been in times past. And that's because our minds have become so entrained or so conditioned to expecting, receiving certain types of information. So you then really have no choice but to really double down on where you stand, where you are, where you're headed with your life, because otherwise you be kind of guided blindly into a place of literal like surrender to whatever is being given to you. So it also leans into the idea of um, having a sense of discernment as well over what all that is happening and not just taking things for granted. Um, I don't really speak much about conspiracies and I don't really speak much on certain topics on the channel. And I I guess I've like kind of tread very lightly on topics specifically because it's not like I'm spending so much time doing all this research, and I'm not presenting it in that more not professional context but very authoritative standpoint based backing it with the research and work, excuse me, that I've done to present it. So I don't spend a lot of time on that stuff, but to be honest with you, there are so many things, like it's crazy to me, so many things that is happening that we really do need to be aware of, and we do need to be putting plans in place to circumvent what is coming. I strongly believe that a lot of things are coming that will affect how we operate in our day-to-day lives, and affect how we even relate to each other. I mean, that's already, I feel, has been impacted ever since COVID, of course, but I think that's going to continue to shift and change. Relationships are changing. I think people in general now are choosing themselves more than they have in maybe centuries. Families are breaking apart. It's a lot of things that are happening. Some things I'd say kind of just naturally as a result of um the times, meaning that because there's greater awareness around our own desires and our own wants, and of course there's the social media influence or the media influence around your choice of lifestyle, etc. People are definitely exercising their individuality, I guess, a lot more than usual. Of course there's pros and cons to all these different things. Me personally, I mean, I'm someone who is like, or I'm always generally a very community driven minded person. I'm generally somebody who is like um a lot more open minded to building together versus building individually. And of course, whether together or individually, both dynamics take work. And I would say, both, they have their pros and they have their cons. And there's a time and place for everything, of course. But I feel like now more than ever, like I've been pushing for community stuff for like such a long time. Like maybe not like super heavy, but just in my circles that I've kind of grew up in. But I really feel like I want to focus on that going forward as an important theme for my own life, because I really want to have a very curated space for people who are in my life, and that those people, um with those same people, we're able to co-create together like amazing things, amazing ideas, amazing things that we can build together, not just as a unit, but even from a generational standpoint where our families work together generationally. That's like my mindset towards that narrative. And so not I think I know that over time I'm going to be spending some more time to push those ideas or those themes, because I feel like they are very important. And I I can't predict what the future will be. I can't predict what's coming in the next several years. I know there are plans that we aren't aware of that are coming for sure. I don't know how those plans will necessarily affect all of us, but I know they will affect our lifestyle for sure. I know they will affect, in some respects, maybe our freedoms. And I feel like a part of my purpose and journey here is to create a space for, or at least be able to be an example for others on really how to go about like creating a space for yourself and your family, and a community of people, like-minded people who share the same values and share the same dream or goal for the long term of their families. And I'm saying that too to open and extend an invitation for people who are resonating on that vibe to link up. You know what I mean? Like drop a comment, send link me on IG, whatever the case is, and let's catch up. But I think I've kind of just been like ruminating on the idea that I really need to get back on like doing my monthly meetings. I believe they're monthly. Yeah, like last year, earlier in the year, I wasn't doing it on YouTube, but I was just doing it on Zoom, where I would have my meeting. It was called Conscious Connections, um, and it was just like gathering on a monthly basis for a group of us, where I'd share on different themes and topics. And I think I'm gonna like kickstart that on live on YouTube, so that people from wherever, whenever, can like join in, chime in, and then over time, like have like a group context or community context where people can like tap into a group and we can all connect and chat and start making some plans. I strongly believe that it's a very important part of my journey, a very important part of my purpose, and I think I've been like holding out on a lot of things for way too long. And I want to like move into that space to truly begin living the life that I want and, operating from the context that works for me. I think as the years have gone by, I've gotten to this place of really appreciating my not necessarily just myself, but my own ideas and my desires more and more. Not that I've been acting on all of them, but I've gotten to a place where I can accept the fact that I don't have to follow the collective way. I don't have to follow the traditional ways. I don't have to do things the way how everybody finds it okay and normal to do things. I can do things in a way that resonates for me. But that doesn't, affect the environment or disturb the natural processes around us. And I definitely have to hold more space for that for myself. Of course, having the YouTube channel is definitely a manifestation of that whole vibe, but I know I have to kind of start stepping beyond that. So I want to share these thoughts with you guys, because this is like a very open and authentic type of um, video where, again, it's not like a scripted vibes. I'm kind of like just letting you guys into my thoughts because I want to be real and be open. Not that I've figured all these things out. I'm someone who spends a lot of time to think and strategically approach things to do my best to create a balanced output. And sometimes that works, sometimes that doesn't work. But I do like to spend time to process and think things through sometimes. Especially within this phase of my life. Like I feel like I definitely have been afforded that, and I'm doing my best to approach it practically. And I've been having to be so patient. Oh my gosh, it's been such a long time since I've had to exercise this level of patience, but I also understand that while I'm being patient, it's also a lot of it is as a result of me. I guess like not being willing or ready to like take certain steps, but I'm very happy with the growth and with the direction of things. And you know I used to think like I'm getting old and getting older, and I need to do certain things and whatever, but I'm not even pressed about any of that stuff. Like I definitely understand that everybody's timing is unique. And this is not like a monetary, I'm not talking about monetary things, but it's like I can respect my own timing and process around certain events in my life. And I've come to really appreciate that process and to respect the cycles of my own life, and not let the external things that are happening really determine or dictate how I feel so much anymore, but to just move in a way that is harmonious with for me, um, and just keep it pushing. You know, I think I've come a long way with a lot of that stuff, to be honest, because I've definitely lived from a place of trying to be the good guy as often as I can be, and to be the nice guy, or to be the guy that, like, you know, operates in such a way that, he's pleasing to other people. Um, but that level of pleasing kind of sometimes stifles your own personal growth and self development. So you have to be very cognizant of that. And I've been having to learn that the last few years, to be comfortable with choosing what works for me, and not just choosing things because they make other people feel good or feel happy and stuff. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of boldness, a lot of courage, and I know I preach on that a lot, that you have to be very courageous with your own individual and personal journey. You really don't have a choice. Um, and you have to understand that it's like an analogy that just came to my mind is like, when you think about life, is like it's like a musical or an orchestra or an instrument with like many different chords, and everybody is an individual chord on that instrument. Everybody is an individual um, musician in the orchestra. So we're all playing our individual tune or pitch or whatever it is, in the whole music. So when you're in line doing you in alignment with your stuff, you're in tune, you know what I mean? Versus like following everything that you're playing. It's like you're playing other people's um, music, versus playing your own. So you kind of mess up the overall music, you know what I mean? So we're all here to play our individual part in that musical, and that has to be respected, and you have to honor that within yourself. You know what I mean? So again, these are all lessons that are being, um how would you describe it, like assimilated and like really adopted at a very high level. And my journey has had its fair share of setbacks, but I think everything has happened in such a way to lead me to where I'm at now, in this very, I'd say, very healthy way, so that I'm not, I guess, mentally disoriented. Because I think it's easy to say, like, nowadays, like mental health is a real thing, you know what I mean? It's legit, man. Like, so if you definitely on a certain track where life has gotten you to a space of just being like removed from your situations, then trust me, I get it. Sorry, I'm looking back because I hear footsteps and I'm assuming it's a deer. Let me see. Um, I don't see it, so I can't show you guys, but I definitely hear footsteps. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, oh my! It's a raccoon, guys. Oh my gosh, I've never seen a raccoon out here. Look, it's right there. Oh man, I'm so glad I caught that on camera. Oh, there it is. There it is. It looks like a young one too. Isn't that so cool? Um, I don't know. It's like I don't know. Oh, there it is going up. It's like right up there. Hold on. That was so random, guys. I literally thought it was a deer because the footsteps sounded so heavy. I've never seen a raccoon. I mean, I've seen a fox, deers, never a raccoon. That is so interesting. He's just cruising right along like I'm not even here. That is so funny. Wow. I love that though. I love the spontaneity of just nature. That's so cool. I don't even remember what I was talking about. I think I was talking about community or something like that, right? I don't remember. Nonetheless, oh man, I love nature so much, man. I like. I was working on my because I'm also involved in real estate and stuff as well, and I've been like kind of mapping out my some stuff around like my daily routine that I want to incorporate once I like get a few things in order. And one of the things that I had written down was about like when I wake up in the morning, I want to go walk, um, take a walk or stroll along my farm, along my gardens and stuff, and like, you know, go greet my animals and stuff like that. And so I'm like, just I know within my heart that that's always what I've wanted, um, but I'm like doing more proactively approaching the manifestation of it because like where I'm at right now, I'm like I think I've been like waiting for certain things or like holding back because of certain things. But I don't feel like doing that anymore. So I'm like moving into this space of allowing myself to just start um, putting things together how I want. And it's funny that I say that because the last short that I posted, which is about not chasing but start creating, and it's the video like has Alan Watts, the voice of Alan Watts, speaking about like creating like not chasing the butterflies but creating the garden for the butterflies to come. And that analogy can be applied to so many different circumstances in your life. And I'm moving into a space, and this is why I say like things happen so organically, like you gradually gain certain insights as you go along in your journey. And that's why I don't focus on timing, and I don't focus on the when and all of that, but appreciate what I have to go through internally in order to grow to then move to the next phase of expression in my journey. And as I was saying, like it's all organic and very progressive matter of fact. So you don't need to be evaluating things solely from like the external factors or the external things taking place in your life, but check the internals, check what is coming up for you, what are the recurring things, because they they really do show you like where you're at. They do show you like what's really triggering the external. So you want to really pay attention to all of that. So yeah, I'm saying all that to say that it's time for me to start creating the garden. Creating the garden for my family and creating the garden for my animals and my plants and all the things that are important to me. Um, so this year really will mark the beginning of that, and I'm so like excited to get that going. So happy to be at a place where I feel comfortable beginning that process, knowing that I might not know the how, but at least in knowing the what, the universe will then create the house through all the serendipitous and spontaneous acts. Um, and I am all for that, you know. If you know me, you know I love spontaneous vibes. So, yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. Definitely looking forward to sharing with you guys that journey. Um, I know I've spent the initial part of this channel focusing on, you know, working on yourself, working on your mind, you know, doing shadow work, you know, focus on meditating, different things like that. And that's a continual process. But I also want to move into creating content around other important things that are important to me that I feel um, would be somewhat important to you guys as well. I'm sorry, guys. I'm being eaten up by these mosquitoes, but it's okay. I'm sacrificing for you guys. Okay. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, nah. So yeah, I just wanted to create this video to just share my thoughts around these different things. Um, and I'm looking forward to sharing more. And again, like I was saying, I'm gonna do my best to going back to um, be more present with the channels so I can connect with more of you guys. And like I said, like, you know, feel free to connect. Like if you're feeling the vibes, feeling the flow and stuff, like definitely hit me up. And I'm gonna, like I said, try to do some lives going forward where we can have some interactions and stuff. Like my journey, you know, as far as I'm concerned, has always been to be an example for others and to live my life in such a way that it inspires courage within you to go for what is important for you, to be true to who you are, and to also hold space for such an alignment that creates a very enriched connection and relationship to yourself and the divine that exists. So I really hope that I stay true to that for the rest of my life. And I'll be honest with you guys, like my expression has very unique nuances, you know. And saying that to say that if you're truly following my journey, you know, be open minded, you know what I mean? Like definitely um yeah, be open minded. I will say that. Cause like I said, like I'm not here to be traditional and I'm not here to follow anybody else's rules per se, but to follow my intuition around a lot of different things and to move with what moves me, um, and yeah, go from there and creating that rhythm, whatever is in alignment with that rhythm will flow. So again, super grateful for this space, this time to be able to connect with you guys, and I really trust that you guys learn something from this. I guess just chill vibes conversation, I guess I should go start like a bonfire now, right? Get some what do you call that? You marshmallows and man, what are those biscuits? Or crackers? Crackers? Graham crackers, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, and Hershey's chocolate. Man, I haven't had a what is that called again? What is that called? What is the combination of that called? S'more. Yes. I haven't had a s'more in such a long time. Man, guess I'm gonna have to get some s'mores. But yeah, guys, I'm sending you guys so much love. This is a space of authenticity and truth, and I think those two themes really are transformational. And if you can be around people that hold space for that, it will do your life so much good. In all honesty, you don't have to wear the mask anymore. You don't have to wear the veil. You can be real, be honest, be true to yourself, and feel that um, you're being accepted and not judged for who you are and who you're choosing to be. And to have that reciprocated in a space of love is one of the most important things you can experience in this life. So I hold space for that, and I hold space for all of you. And I pray that whatever is happening in your life now will create some amazing opportunities for growth that you will take advantage of, and the same for my life, that I will take advantage of everything that is happening in order to propel me into the next phase of experiences that I'm to have. So be courageous, be fearless, love unconditionally, love passionately. And yeah, guys, I express my sincere love and gratitude to you guys always. And yeah, stay tuned to the next one. I will do my best to stay true to my words and start going live and doing more organized stuff around that, hosting like meditations live and just holding space for healing, transformation, and just general connection. That's my flow. So yeah, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Thanks for tuning in, and again, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Like the video, drop a comment, and yeah, share this with someone that you think might find listening to a video like this helpful. Um, and let's just continue growing, guys. So bless up, and we'll talk again soon.